Caring.
Hi, I'm Linda Tamandel from Peace Lutheran Church. I've been a member here since 1982. Was fortunate enough to be able to give both of my girls a Christian education here at Peace School, right here at this Adams campus. They further went on to Valley Lutheran and have done extremely well, and I'm just so proud that they started out and had this firm foundation as young people. I've done a lot here at Peace since I joined. From 1983 until 1991, I was a member of the Board of Education. And then later, I was on the Board of Public Relations. And that board was a great board because I not only got involved with the Welcome Center, but we also got involved with having our Pastor Weiss do some radio commercials at WSGW. And believe me, that was one of the most exciting things for him and for the listening radio audience. He was fabulous, and I think there's probably many people he brought to Christ during that time. But probably one of the biggest things I want to talk to you about today about caring is my Christ Care group. I've been a member of a Christ Care group here at Peace for over 20 years. Just absolutely wonderful friendships. I just can't tell you how much it means to be in a Christ Care group. We have a very, very big church, and without small group ministry, you just sometimes don't feel connected. But the best half hour of our Christ Care meeting is our last half hour. And that's the half hour that we spend asking people, what do you want me to pray for? I've lost my sister to cancer, lost my mother recently, and believe me, to have the support of these women praying for me, praying for my family, it's just been life-changing. So if any of you are looking for just that right connection for you, maybe a Christ Care group would just be exactly what you need. And that's why I love the Dove.
Love the Dove.
I have been a lifelong Saginaw resident. I attended grade school out in Frankenmuth, and I attended high school at Valley Lutheran. From there, I ended up at Alma College getting a bachelor's degree in psychology, which of course led to more schooling. I ended up in school social work after attending grad school at Michigan State, and I discovered that while I really loved being in the school setting, I didn't so much love the social work setting. So I decided to leave social work and go and get my teaching certificate from Concordia in Ann Arbor with my Lutheran teacher diploma. After that, I ended up getting a call down to the Cincinnati area where my now husband was working just outside of Louisville. And after a few years, we were relocated back to Saginaw. He works with Dow. And we decided that I wasn't going to pursue a full-time teaching position because eventually we wanted to start a family and I wanted to stay home with my children until they were school age. That fall, I received a phone call from Pastor Henry, who at the time was the principal here. And he asked me if I would be willing to consider doing some subbing here at Peace. I happily accepted. I came in, we kind of talked about the logistics of everything, and after a couple of days of subbing, I ended up accepting a long-term sub position for Mrs. Mikowski, who was going on maternity leave. What blew me away here at Peace was that the moment I walked into the building on that first day of subbing, I felt like I was part of the family. The faculty welcomed me, the students were wonderful, which is not always the case when you're a sub stepping into a classroom. And the facility is just top-notch. There is not another school like it in the area. Everything just kind of clicked with the faculty and the students, and I just felt like I was home as soon as I walked in here. And over the years, that has not changed. I stepped back from subbing a little bit to start a family, but the relationships that I built here, they blossomed and they grew even when I wasn't actively in the building. The faculty here have seen me through some of the hardest days, starting a family, going through IVF, having a couple of miscarriages. I never felt like because I wasn't here in the building or providing a service to them, there was anything that I was missing out on. If anything, I felt like they pulled us in even tighter as part of the family when we weren't here. It was almost like they realized that not being in the building meant that they needed to embrace me even tighter. And I will forever be grateful for that. And over the years, it became time, obviously. My son is now 6. When he turned 5, it was time to start looking at a school. I never thought I would send my kids to Peace. I kind of resisted the urge because it was the powerhouse school in the Saginaw area. But after subbing here over the years, I realized that it was a no-brainer. I knew that there was nobody here who would love on my kid and teach my kid the love of Jesus the way that Mrs. Kelly would in Stream. And I had the privilege of having lunch with Mrs. Kelly basically every day while I was doing maternity sub positions for people. So I knew that it was just the perfect fit. Every day my son would come home and tell me not just what he learned about in school or how he learned about Jesus, but how the teachers made him feel here. And that's huge for any kid, but especially a 5-year-old, to realize that the teachers love you and that they care about you and that they want the best for you is pretty astronomical. And for me, it was a no-brainer to continue our education here. And I am a lifelong member of another local Lutheran church. 4 decades almost. I can't believe I just told my age, basically. I was baptized at this church. I was married at this church. My firstborn was baptized at this church. So the decision to transfer our membership, while not an easy one for me personally, was an incredibly easy decision for us to make as a family. And so while my previous church held our past, Peace holds our future. And that's why I love the Dove.